Hello everyone, and welcome to another online edition of Grace Creatives. My name is Desiree and I'm the director of Grace. And what we're going to be doing today is an acrylic and alcohol rainbow painting. And I'm really excited to do this project. I've never done it before. You should have been able to see a picture of it in the intro to this video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with all the materials that you need, and then we will jump into the project. So starting over here to my left, you will need some watered down black acrylic paint, a large and small paintbrush, some rubbing alcohol. This is just 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. You can get it from a local pharmacy. I have acrylic paint that are in the colors of the rainbow. So following Roy G. Biv, I have red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet. Then over here to my right, I have napkins for dabbing. I have a cup of water. I have a tablecloth. I recommend putting a tablecloth down for this project because we're going to be dealing with black paint and it gets everywhere. So yeah, I would definitely want to lay down a tablecloth or covering of some kind under your canvas. And then what this is a primered 8x10 piece of hardboard panel. So if you don't know what that is, you can get it at your local hardware store for about $8 for a sheet, and then you can just have them cut the sheets down to 8x10. It's a good way to save on canvases and be very cost effective, but it's called hardboard panel, and I've just primered it with some gray primer. So go ahead and set up your area and we will get started with the first step. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right into the first step here. The first step of this project is fairly simple. We're just going to be painting a rainbow pattern along our canvas. And so following the colors of the rainbow, I'm going to start with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and violet, and just paint a rainbow up my, my canvas. So you can do some blending between the colors if you'd like to create some color variation, or you can do the hard lines of the colors. Whatever you want is fine. But just spend a few minutes painting the back of your canvas and I will come back with the next step. Awesome, so hopefully you had some fun painting your rainbow. I was able to finish mine and it looks like this. You might have had some difficulty, as I did, with having some of your colors really pop, especially with the gray behind it. So you might have to do a couple of coats on a few of the colors. And then I actually ended up mixing together a little bit of a different shade of orange using my red and my yellow, just because the orange that I had just wasn't really coming through. So you might have to do a little bit of modifications with some of the paint. You can always do some color mixing. And then also just working on your blending lines between the rainbow. But the next step of this project is just to let your canvas dry. It needs to be 100% fully dry before we move on to the next step. So just take a little bit of a break, let your canvas dry, and I will come back with the next step. So hopefully you had enough time to let your canvas dry. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the next step, which is fairly simple. You're just gonna use your large paintbrush here and you're gonna grab your watered down black acrylic paint. This acrylic paint has about a 1:1 or 1:2 paint to water ratio. So it's fairly watered down. You do want it to be pretty watered down for this next step. But basically all you're gonna do now is you're gonna take that black acrylic paint and your large paintbrush and you're just gonna paint over the top of your canvas, and you're just gonna cover the entire thing, and you're gonna wanna do this quickly because we're gonna want the paint to still be wet for the next step. So just take a few minutes and cover this entire canvas with that black paint. And I'll come back with the final step. Moving right along here, after you've got your canvas all covered with the black paint, you're gonna grab your rubbing alcohol as well as your smaller paintbrush. You're just gonna dip that smaller paintbrush in the alcohol, and you're just gonna start sprinkling that rubbing alcohol on the canvas. And as you do that, you're gonna notice that the black paint separates, revealing the rainbow underneath. Kind of does a cool effect, and you can kind of tap. You see how I'm tapping the top of my paintbrush right here to get smaller spots. So if you let the larger drops drip, they're gonna show through like that. And if you do this little method, you're gonna end up with a sprinkle. So you can kind of just spend a few minutes here just going over the top of your canvas, just dripping some of this alcohol over the top. And as you do that, you'll end up with a cool pattern of spots over your canvas. So just take a few minutes to do that, and I'll come back and show you guys my final product. You're all done with your project. It should look something like this. I'll show you up close so you can see the rainbow, and it kind of pops through those parts where we sprinkled alcohol over the top. So cool effect, super simple project to do from one of our kits or just with your kids at home. Hope you enjoyed this session of Grace Creatives. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to seeing you for a future Grace Creative session. God bless.